Alright, so hi guys, a very warm welcome everyone joining us here at BYJU'S Exam Prep. Welcome, good evening, hope all of you are doing well. Guys, today we are here to discuss the strategy for the remaining 4 months of our preparation for the year 2023. CLAT 2023, as we all are aware, is in the month of December. Lots of things I'm sure would be crossing your minds right now as to what needs to be done. People who started from, let's say, a year back or 6 months back, even their fire would be, a little bit on the, burning on the lower side. So to reignite the fire, we are here with this all important session for all of you. 120 days to go for your exam. How can we, approximately of course, how can we prepare ideally? What are the things that we need to keep in mind? If there is someone who's watching us for the very first time, what are the things that you need to do in these 120 days? Guys, all of this will be answered here in this session. So a detailed session comes your way. So quickly share this video with all your friends so that of course everyone benefits. Hi Sakshi, Stuti, Sanjana, Aditi, Mayank, welcome guys, welcome everyone. Good evening, hope all of you are doing well. Yes, so now 120 days to go. What are the topics that we'll be covering here in this session? Let's learn about them one by one. The agenda of the day, we'll first start off by talking about the CLAT undergraduate modalities. We'll talk about the past year trends as well. We'll talk about past year cutoffs along with analytics. So a detailed discussion is coming your way, as you can see here. Then we'll be sharing secrets to crack the exam in the year 2023. What are the secrets in detail? We'll learn about them, and towards the end we'll also discuss a few questions. So there are practice questions also which all of us are supposed to do. So let's quickly begin. Let's start the session. Here we go. The first topic, let's start with CLAT modalities. Let's start with it. सबसे पहले, the first thing, CLAT undergraduate 2023 notification. So we all know that the registration process has already begun from the 8th of August. Now be real careful while filling in the forms. You have ample amount of time to fill. You know that the registration process will be done on the 13th of November. So 13th of November the registration process will end. So you have all this time to fill carefully fill all the details that are required, right? So make sure no silly mistakes are done. Every little detail you check it twice and thrice, and then you hit the submit button. CLAT undergraduate exam will be conducted on the 18th of December. So right now, people who are focusing too much on their board exams, guys, right now I'd advise you to focus more, give number one priority should be to your law entrance exams, your CLAT exam. After 18th of December, you will have time to prepare for your boards as well. So right now, focus on this because we have paucity of time, and the CLAT consortium has shared this date, the 18th of December, for this very reason, right? This is the reason why they have shared this. Why they have done this? Because the 18th December was chosen as the date for the simple reason that students who were facing lots of issues with respect to their board exams, who could not spare enough time, they also get a look in. So the mode of exam, guys, will be offline. You will have ample amount of time to prepare now that the board exams will be in the month of March and April. You don't have to worry with respect to your board exams. Before your boards, you will be done with your CLAT exam. So very important and a good decision comes your way. I'm sure all of us will be benefiting immensely from this, right? Chaliye. All right, guys, quickly share this video with all your friends. I can see only a select few students are watching us live. I am sure this session should be watched by everyone. Every student that is preparing for the year 2023 should be attending this session. Guys, quickly share this video with all your friends. This is a very important session. We need maximum participation so that you get all your questions answered here. All right, Chaliye. All right, so now the mode of exam is offline. So this is one thing that we have to keep in mind. We have to practice reading offline as well, which is of course very important for us. Hi, welcome buddy, good evening, welcome. So the 2023 sample paper will be released in the month of September. We have talked about this. The second sample paper will be released in the month of October. CLAT UG 2023 third sample paper will be released in October 2022. So again, there will be 3 sample papers which will be out, and all these sample papers, of course, we are supposed to attempt them as well. Now, the expected pattern, there are rumors that the pattern has changed. Lots of students come in the classes and inquire whether the pattern has changed. The answer is no, no such change in the pattern. So do expect the same pattern, right? So CLAT undergraduate 2023 exam will have 30 questions of English, logical reasoning 30, majority questions from legal and current affairs, and then there will be select questions from the quantitative techniques as well. Number of passages you can see here, six in the case of logical and English, 8 if we talk about legal, 7 if we talk about the GK, and quantitative techniques, there are 3 passages to do. 120 minutes you will get, so more than 20,000 words you're supposed to read in a span of 120 minutes. We all have discussed this. It can be a little tough task if you're someone who's just starting, but you have 120 days. Make sure regularly, religiously you are practicing. Specifically more focus should be on reading, right? So that should be our major focus. Daily spare a couple of hours on reading. You can read newspapers, read any such content which is helpful for your exam. You can practice reading comprehension so that your reading practice is also there, plus you're also attempting questions, you're improving your problem solving ability as well. So practice as much as possible. This is for everyone. +1 for every correct answer, -0.25 for every incorrect answer. We all are aware of this. Now if we look at the past year trends, very important topic this is. What are the past year trends? So you can see 2022, 2021 and 2020. The past year trends are as follows. You can see in verbal ability there were 30 questions, logical reasoning again 30 questions, legal 40, 35 in current affairs, quantitative techniques again 50. Now this was there in 2022. If we look at the number of passages that were asked, you can see again just like the ones that were shared, similar, right? 6, 6, 8, 7, 3 respectively. 2021 again absolutely the same, and there was a slight change when we talk about CLAT 2020. So moreover, we know that there will be 30 passages which will be asked in your exam. In the year 2020, in logical reasoning there were 5 passages, but if you look at 2021, 2022, there were 6 passages each. So hardly any difference. There were 29 passages in total in 2020 and 30 passages in 2021 as well as 2022. So lots of reading is involved. We all are aware about this. Now you can see here, if we look at the difficulty level of all the subjects, right, subject wise, if we look at the difficulty level, look at this, look at English. Moderate was the difficulty level in 2022, easy was in 2020. So each year you can't say that this section is always tough, this section is always easy. It always changes with respect to each year, with respect to the examiner, what kind of questions that they include, right? Totally depends on that. So cutoff will also vary for obvious reasons, right? Now logical reasoning was moderate throughout. Legal reasoning, you can see moderate. It was actually very lengthy, but this year it was not that lengthy. Current affairs general awareness this year was moderate, easy to moderate, and has been moderate. General awareness, we know that if you get roughly around 70% score out of, let's say 35, you're getting anywhere around 27 or 25 plus, you are definitely in the top 5% bracket. If you are scoring above 20, even then you are in the top 20% bracket, which is also a good score. So that should be your aim, that minimum 25, roughly around that region I should be consistently getting throughout my mock journey, right? Whatever mocks you give, this should be your goal. Now current affairs done. Quantitative techniques, the difficulty level is easy again. You can see 2022, 2020, maths was easy. Students do this blunder, right? They do not indulge in reading a lot. Specifically, if you talk about quantitative techniques, they don't put in the effort that is required for this particular section. If you put in this extra effort, guys, you will be benefited by at least plus 10 plus 12 marks. Do not do this mistake of leaving it all together. The questions are such that if you put in some effort, some energy you put in here, you will definitely get lots of rewards. Lots of marks are here which are up for grabs if we talk about mathematics. So not to be avoided. I have shared this multiple times. I'm sure Ankur sir has also shared this multiple times. All the teachers here at BYJU'S Exam Prep have also shared this multiple times. So don't leave it. Also, if we look at overall the difficulty level of the exam is not very difficult. The exam is not very easy. Also, it's actually moderate. Now, why do we say this? Is because the person who has good reading ability, the person will definitely find this easy, right? Someone who has good reading ability will find this easy. Someone who has the reading ability is not that good, you will find this difficult. So this is something which you all have to keep in mind. All right, moving on. Next, CLAT previous year cutoffs. If we look at the previous year cutoffs of CLAT, you can see here NLSIU Bangalore, the opening rank, you can see of course is number 1. If you look at the closing rank, 85, this is for the year 2022. If we look at Nalsar, you can see again the Nalsar opening rank was 8, closing rank 162. So the student in general category who's getting AIRs 162 was the last student who got admission in Nalsar, Hyderabad. Then NUJS, the closing rank was 257, NLU Jodhpur was 378. NLU Bhopal closing rank was 451. GNLU Gandhinagar, the closing rank was 430. 756 for RML, 837 for HNLU, 1184 for RGNL Patiala, and then Odisha, you can see 1193. Guys, do keep this in mind that the closing ranks, they will definitely change when we talk about vacant list as well. So these are as per the latest you can say information that we have secured for you, right, as per the last list which was out by the consortium. All right, moving on to the 2021, right? If you look at the 2021 cutoff, you can see here NLSIU Bangalore cutoff in terms of marks. You can see 103.5. 2020 was 92.75. So you can't prepare as though keeping marks as the focal point, right? That should not be the case. If you're preparing with keeping marks, so I have to secure 115 in every mock, that is not possible, right? Every mock will have some questions, some mocks will be extremely lengthy, some will be extremely tough, right? The questions will be half relevant to what you've been studying. So in that case, what will you do, right? Don't worry, your job is to get a good rank compared to all your competitors, people who are giving the exam. Where are you among them? That is what is the most important thing. When you give mocks here at BYJU'S Exam Prep, you get an idea with respect to your rank that you've secured amongst all the students that have given the mock. So if, let's say for example 2000 students have given the mock, what is your rank among them? How much is the difference between the topper and your score if you are not the topper? So all these things you can analyze and based on that you can start preparing, right? So 2021, you can see the cutoff was 103.5, 92.75 in the previous year to that. 99, you can see the 10 marks difference there was approximately if you look at all the colleges, right? So you can see here all the colleges approximately 8 to 10 marks difference was there in terms of cutoffs. Now, moving on. Guys, before we move on, quickly hit the like button so that this video reaches out to everyone, right? That is how the YouTube algorithms work. You all are aware. So quickly hit the like button and don't forget to like the session and also to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on such super duper important videos that come your way. All right. Okay, so CLAT UG Analytics. Now let's talk about this. All right, so let's start with English. So when we talk about English, what are the key takeaways? Let's begin. The key takeaways, number 1, total questions, there are 30. This is the same from the year 2020 to the year 2022. This has not changed. Total number of questions have been 30. Number of passages also uniform, 6. Consistently with the new pattern. there are 6 passages. Length of these passages are roughly around 300 to 550 words. They also they change a bit. And the topics are majorly, you can see, from current affairs. Look at this. All topics: economy, politics, health, literature, science and technology, COVID, education, ecology, sociology. Look at the kind of topics that are being asked in verbal ability, right? If you have good command over current affairs, economy, politics, this is all what is expected out of you in general awareness section. So when you're preparing for general awareness section, when you're reading the newspapers, you're automatically preparing not just for your current affairs, not just for your legal, but also for your verbal ability, right? So plus obviously your uh, logical reasoning as well. So all the sections barring mathematics, probably you are preparing in case you are reading newspapers regularly, religiously, following current affairs. It will give you definitely a great edge. So this has to be kept in mind. If you look at the sources, look at this: editorials from national newspapers, books, and short stories are asked in the exam. Guys, that the type of questions which are asked are direct, indirect, vocabulary based questions, as well as critical reasoning based questions. So as we discussed, English language, verbal ability, and CR go hand in hand. Similar thing can be said with respect to general awareness as well, looking at the kind of topics that were asked in the exam. Now let's look at the sources from which the passages were asked in the past 3 years. Look at this, guys. The Hindu, there were one passage in the year 2021. In 2020, there was one passage. Times of India, there was one passage from here. Magazines, if we talk about, you can see 2021, there was a passage there. Novel stories, one passage in the year 2021 and 3 in the year 2020. If we look at other sources, there were 3, 3, and 1. So, you can see that it's a mixed bag, right? There will be sources. There can't be a single source from which you can prepare your verbal ability. So what all of us will advise here, especially if we talk about verbal ability, if we talk about English language, is that number one, make sure that you are having a fantastic reading habit, right? Reading skills are to be honed, and you have time with you. Practice them daily. You have so much study material available on your student dashboard. Avail that. Attempt as many tests as possible, attempt as many quizzes as possible, watch our recordings that are available on the app, right? The asynchronous recordings that are available, watch them. There are tests that follow those classes, so attempt those tests as well. These are the things that you need to do in order to build your confidence with respect to verbal ability. Moving on to the next section, that is logical reasoning, LR. When we talk about logical reasoning, look at the takeaways, guys. Again, total number of questions 30. In the year 2020, there were 5 questions, but 2021 and 2022, there were 6 questions each. You can see number of passages, rather number of passages I am talking about. Number of passages, right? 6 in the year 2021 and 2022, and you can see 2020, there were 7. Now, length of passages 250 to 350 words. So these are short passages now. Topic of passages. Now look at this. Education, again, look at this. General awareness related. General awareness, general awareness, general awareness, general awareness. Look at this. Majority things that are being asked are general awareness related. So if you have good command over all the general awareness issues, you definitely stand a great advantage in all the sections, right? Sir, editorial from Hindu are okay or other editorial? Yes, beta. The number one newspaper that I will recommend you is the Hindu only. The editorials from the Hindu are definitely more than recommended. Sir, I want to get to the top 5. Very good, buddy. So that's why make sure that you're focusing on this section. We'll be sharing super duper important tips for you so that you can definitely secure a seat in national university, the top 5. All right, sources, editorials from national newspapers, books, as well as short stories. Same thing, guys. Types of questions: inference, assumption, conclusion, fact-based, critical reasoning-based questions. Again, guys, these questions are available on your student dashboard. Guys, check out the student dashboard. If you haven't downloaded our app already, please quickly hit the download button for these questions. You'll get the recordings as well. There are free recordings as well as for our enrolled students. There are different recordings. So make sure you follow us. You attempt as many tests that are given there. So there is no dearth of study material. If for some reason you are you are able to complete everything that is there, even then we will have truckloads of study material that we'll be sharing with all of you, right? So do keep this in mind. Yes, Sanjana, the Hindu is the #1 recommended newspaper. If you can get get your hands on this newspaper, definitely most recommended is that, right? All right, so because that will also help you build your vocabulary, right? That will give you definite advantage as well, right? So now, if we look at the sources for logical reasoning, look at the newspapers. In 2020, there was an article from the Hindu. Indian Express, there were 4 articles in the year 2021. 2 in the year 2020, but none in the year 2022. So no one newspaper you can say that this is the newspaper where everything will be asked. So not direct things will be asked, but the news etc. remain the same, right? So there's hardly anything that will happen around the country and will be missed by this newspaper. So that's why it is the #1 newspaper that is being recommended to all of you, right? Chaliye. We will be talking about GK as well, buddy. So keep watching us. So Times of India, you can see in the year 2022 there were 2 questions here. 2021 1, 2020 there was 1 passage which was asked from Times of India. Magazines again frequently asked, and so are the other sources as well. So this is how the passages were asked for the logical reasoning. In the year 2020, you can see 3 passages with 1 question each on statement and conclusion was there. So note down the topics from or the chapters from which we are supposed to study. So statement and conclusion, assumptions, etc. These are the topics which are frequently asked. 3 passages with 1 question each. So very important. There were 2 analytical reasoning questions as well. So there was 1 question on puzzle, that is matrix. 1 question was there on coding, decoding as well. So these are the kind of questions which are also asked frequently, right? Pooja, I will talk about quantitative technique. We will talk about each section, right? One by one, we'll talk about each section. Don't worry, right? So let's move on to the next section, which is legal. After legal, we'll talk about current affairs and quant as well. When we talk about legal reasoning, you can see the key takeaways, 40 questions. The majority questions are from legal, right? So majority questions are from the legal reasoning. Now 40 questions 2020 to 2022 each year, majority questions are from this section. Number of passages, there are 8. The length of passages is anywhere between 250 to 550 words. The topic of the passages are contract law, constitutional law, family law, crimes, torts, etc. All these topics are asked, which were already asked. All the topics remain the same, just that the questions are now in a form where there are lots of passages, right? Sources, case laws are given in the passages. There are newspaper articles that are shown as the passages. There are barracks which are also there. There are blogs like iPleaders etc., which are also used for for your passages. Types of questions are direct, inference based and application based. All kinds of questions are asked. So direct questions are also asked. There are the passage has to be treated as a principle. These are the kind of questions which are also asked. Then there is passage given which is to be treated as a law, and then there are principle and fact based questions which also follow. So that is why if you are preparing for legal reasoning, I would definitely recommend you to go to the previous year papers, not just for legal but for all the sections. It is absolutely super duper helpful, right? Don't think that the earlier pattern is no longer useful to you and you can avoid this. You can't, right? You can't avoid it. Next, guys, if we look at the sources from which logical reasoning was asked, now look at this, guys. There was when this is not logical, this is legal. So just correcting this, legal. We are talking about legal. All right. So legal, you can see from Bare Act there were 2 passages that were asked. In 2021 there were 5 from Bare Act. For case laws in the year 2020 there were 4, none this year. So it changes from year to year basis. 4 there were from iPleaders, 1 2021, 1 2020. So you can see that each year the sources may vary, but the kind of questions remain the same. All right. The kind of questions as in the topics from which the questions are asked. Say for example, contract law, constitutional law. You don't have to go beyond that. You don't have to study Transfer of Property Act, right? You have to study things which are which were asked earlier. The syllabus of legal reasoning remains the same, right? Now let's talk about the all important section, that is current affairs. Right now, Sanjana is asking, sir, which magazine is best for your entrance exam? I would definitely recommend CLAT Ignite magazine. Right. Apart from that, Frontline, the magazine of the Hindu, that is something which I'll definitely recommend. You can definitely consider that as well. So this is something which you can definitely do. Vicky, in case you are not able to find, if you are not able to locate where the tests are, where the your practice questions are, so in that case, please feel free to reach out to us at support@byju'sexamprep.com. Right, this is the email ID. Feel free to reach out on this, and our team will be more than happy to help you, guide you with respect to the path, so that you can access all of those. All right, so now let's move on. Current affairs. So now, when we are analyzing current affairs, the key takeaways, of course, 35 questions there were. Number of passages were constant throughout. You can see 7. Length of passages are the shortest. But guys, as I've shared multiple times, this is the only section where reading can be avoided. The only section where reading can be avoided. Only in the instances where they are asking that uh, A is redacted as what. So these kind of questions where they are asking fill in the blanks, etc. For that, if you need to read the passage, only then you can browse. Otherwise, you can directly attack on the question. So this is the only section where you can save a lot of time. No need to read the passages. You can directly, start attempting the questions. Current affairs. You can save a lot of your time in current affairs if you follow this tip. All right. Now, Sanjana, it is available online, beta, online, and you can take a printout of that. Now, topics of passages, you can see international, everything, right? International, science and technology, summits and conferences, national news, education policy, environment related news, guys. Super duper important. If you read environment related news anytime in a newspaper, that is a short thing. Definitely study about this, right? And now with the current environment, if you look at the entire global scenario, defense related news is also super duper important, guys. Defense related news. Recently, Israel has been in news, of course, for its defense systems, right? Arrow technology, iron beam, sea dome, right? All these are super duper important. Definitely this will be there in your exam. I am sharing this with you today itself, right? 4 months ago, right? 4 months earlier, rather, right before the exam is there, I am sharing this with you. Definitely expect this in your exam. So defense related news will be there. Education policy, environment, so super duper important. Foreign policy, all these are super duper important with respect to CLAT. Now sources, of course, newspapers are the number one source from which these questions are asked. There are government websites which are also used for questions. There are lots of magazines from which the questions are also asked. The idea is not to cover it from that very source. The idea is to know about the topic which is being asked. It can be from any source. It can be from a newspaper. It can be from an article in a journal, and anywhere, right? The idea is that if the topic that the question is on, if you are aware of this topic, if you are aware, if you've done your research on this topic, in that case, no matter what is the source, does not matter to you. Because in any case, as I've shared earlier, it is the only section where reading can be avoided. You can directly attempt the questions, right? So type of questions you can see are direct passage related also sometimes. Static questions are major. For earlier the pattern change when it happened, the consortium was of the opinion that there will be no static questions and no prior knowledge will be used. And students who have problem solving ability, only those students will be able to crack the exam. With this intent, the change happened. But we have seen some totally different things if you look at the question papers of the past 3 years since the pattern has changed. We have seen that there are lots of static questions which are actually asked. So even if, say for example, WHO is in news, so they will ask us that about WHO also, the static information of WHO, when was it formed, right? In which year was it founded? Also, where is the headquarters? These are static questions from which, if we look at this year's paper, right, Russia-Ukraine conflict, we were already sure that this will be asked in the exam. They asked about the currency of Ukraine, right? The profession of the prime minister of Ukraine, right? So all these things can be asked. Some things will be you know which you are reading through in newspapers, some things which you will be taught in the classes, some things which we'll be covering in the YouTube session. So all these are super duper important sources from which we are supposed to uh, cover all the current affairs. All right. Sir, IPDS is newspaper or magazine. Beta, it is a blog, basically online blog. Thank you, Nihal. Is CLAT okay? Answer this. Reading CLAT Ignite, making notes from it has improved my CA section. Very good. Well done. I'm very happy to read this, buddy. Well done, Preeti Gupta. All right. So now look at this, guys. Look at the passages which were asked in the exam. The Hindu, one passage in 2022, two in the year 2021, 2020. There was one. Now does not matter, right? As I've shared, whatever the source may be, whatever article can be from the Economic Times, but the news, the content, the questions which they are asking, right, is of a particular topic. We should try to cover as many topics with respect to current affairs. That should be our goal, and that is where even mock tests are a super duper help, right? They help us cover many topics. Mock tests help us cover many topics which we have not done as well, right? So in case when you're doing mock tests, if you find questions or topics which you have not done before, don't feel sad, be happy only, because you're now covering more things, right, than you were earlier. So it's a good thing only. In case let's say you appear for 50 mock tests. 50 mock tests means 7 passages in each, so 350 topics you have covered just through the help of mock tests. Let's say out of 350, 150 or 200 were done in the classes and by your research. The remaining 150 odd the 150 odd topics you are now covering with the help of mock tests. So mock tests are a super duper help for us to cover all important topics, right? Sir, how to make notes from Ignite? Just the way you make notes from classes. Whatever is important, write them down in a piece of paper, right? Do your research on them. You've identified a particular issue and start now writing all your all the important pointers that are mentioned, plus do your research as well. Use Google as a tool, of course. How much time I should devote for CLAT preparation to get AIR1? ZZ, for getting AIR1, if that is your aim, I would definitely recommend study for 8 hours plus. You have to dedicate every ounce of your energy to this exam. I'll also say this, that try to study without looking at the clock, right? This is also true. But then again, in case you are someone who needs to follow a particular timetable, or who needs that, yes, please share the time. In that case, I will definitely share 8+ hours is definitely needed. Sir, please tell about the MEA, ISRO, etc. section. Yes, they are also important, beta. ISRO is also important, yes. Golaru is asking, sir, CLAT Ignite and newspaper are enough for current affairs? CLAT Ignite are enough. No, beta, we have shared this multiple times. I have just written in front of you mock tests also. So how can you ignore 150 new passages or 150 new topics that you could cover through mock tests? How will you ignore it? So all of this is important. The YouTube sessions are also important, and along with that, the class notes. These are the 5 things that you need to cover: class notes, CLAT Ignite, newspapers, YouTube sessions, and the mock tests. These are the 5 sources which you are supposed to do. All right, moving on to the next section now. Yes, so quantitative techniques, the section which often most of us are guilty of ignoring. Guys, total questions are 15, and 15 can be a difference between the top 5 NLUs and no national university at all, right? So 15 marks is a huge you can't underestimate the value of even 0.5 marks, because 0.5 can be a difference between 2 national universities. So it's a very cutthroat competition when we talk about competitive exams. Each mark is very important. Have to be smart about it. Chaliye, if you are someone who's very weak at mathematics, I'll not say that ignore everything and study mathematics. But my point is that you have to identify certain topics that are definitely being asked in the exam, right? Look at the previous year papers. In that case, if you're very weak in mathematics, look at the topics which are doable. Number of passages, there are three. There are topics you can see here. CLAT, DI are asked. Topics, look at this: percentages, ratio, average. So these are certain topics. If you have good command over these three topics, you will at least be scoring 7 marks, 8 marks, 9 marks, just by merely attempting it. If you use even the options, there you will find that at least from the 15 you'll find some questions which you can do actually, if you are using options judiciously as well. So you have to spend some time with mathematics, and you will definitely end up scoring much more than you actually think you will, right? So even if you are very weak, say I was very weak in my mathematics throughout my school life, but I was able to score a perfect 20 on 20. Yes, when I was giving the exam, it was of 20 marks. I got a perfect 20 on 20 in mathematics. Why? Because I did not carry any preconceived notion in my mind that yes, if I have to clear this exam, I have to I have to uh, be scoring 100 marks in my 10th or 11th or 12th, nothing of that sort, right? This is a fresh approach. You have to understand that if certain topics you do really well, you will be extremely benefited. You look at this, the three sets that were asked in the year 2020: 2D geometry and bar graph was asked. Averages was actually discussed. In 2021 and 2022, percentages has been asked frequently. So in case you just study percentages, average, and ratio and proportion, in case you have good command over these three, you will have super duper advantage. Guys, come on, don't miss out on this opportunity. These 15 marks are up for grabs. Understand this, right? Very important this is. Now, if you are pursuing your preparation, if you're doing your preparation, if you're doing your mathematics regularly, religiously, nothing can stop you, right? Sir, which book I should use to practice quantitative techniques? You can use, yes, definitely Sanjana has recommended answer. Definitely you can use that as well. I would definitely give you my advice that please first exhaust the study material from the coaching institution where you are preparing from, right? If you're preparing from BYJU'S exam prep, finish off the entire coaching study material that is there, right? And then move on to other help books like RS Agarwal, etc. Don't start off with them. Another advice for people who are a little bit struggling with respect to mathematics is to study a day in advance. Say for example, tomorrow the teacher will be teaching us averages. So whatever the topic the teacher will be teaching us tomorrow, make sure that you're studying it a day in advance, right? So for example, tomorrow is average. We are studying this today, practicing 5-10 questions today, so that when we go tomorrow, we aren't clueless and we are not starting from zero, right? Do some effort on your own at your home, before the class begins, to give you this extra edge, right? What is ISRO-ME? Are they books or magazine? Beta, ISRO is Indian Space Research Organization. MEA is Ministry of External Affairs, right? Chaliye. Vicky, you have to be smart about things, right? That is why I shared that rather than spending hours and hours, study in a form of having an aim chart. Rather than having a study timetable for 2 hours, you'll do this, 1 hour you'll do this. Have an aim chart that you will study, let's say 5 chapters of this, or rather 20 questions of mathematics. You'll do 1 chapter of legal. You'll practice conclusion, assumption, let's say 10 questions of that, and you have a proper goal for each day ready, right? If this is something which you do, you will definitely be benefited in the coming days. All right, now some tips to crack the exam. What are the super duper important secrets? Let's quickly find them out. Let's start with the section strategy, English language plus logical reasoning. You can see here, for this section, what you can do is start reading newspapers. Newspapers, guys, are not just helping you in general awareness, but also you can see English as well as logical reasoning, plus of course legal as well, right? I'll definitely add legal here as well. So 4 sections you are preparing just merely reading newspapers. So please understand the importance of the same. Read editorials from the Hindu, Indian Express, and to build your overall reading, you can also read novels. Improve your vocabulary, practice questions as much as possible. Your job is to practice daily, right? 50 questions. Make sure this is your target. Target 50 questions every day, except the days you are giving mock, right? Apart from attempting the mock, you are also supposed to do 50 questions. 50 questions every day is a must, right? So these 50 questions can be 10 of English, 10 of legal. You can, as you feel like, right? But 50 questions is your target every day. Target 50 questions. This is my advice for you. Please follow this and you'll see amazing results in the future. Work on your reading speed, grammar to excel in these sections. Practice reading comprehension passages as much as possible, right? Once you exhaust all the study material here at BYJU'S example, if you're done, right, there's truckloads of study material that are available. Even GMAT guides, yes, you can definitely cover from them as well, like I've shared. The difficulty level is a notch higher, but then also the idea is to practice as much as possible, as many questions as possible. Moving on to the next one, you can see current affairs. You of course, while reading newspaper, always note down important points and facts. Whatever you deem is important, please write them down, and then try to find static information regarding the same. Say, for example, recently the Chinese ship, which is all said to be docked at Sri Lanka, was in news, right? Indian diplomacy was in news. FIFA recently banned, Indian Football Association as well. So all of this is super duper important. Now, say for example, FIFA has banned Indian Association of Football, right? So in that case, who is the office bearer? What is the entire story about? Who is the head of the FIFA? Who is head of Indian Football Association, as well as where is the headquarters? All these questions are super duper important, and once we are reading this news, all of these pointers should also be noted down, right? All the static information regarding the news should also be noted down, so you can uh, write this as well. Also collect data in terms of years, stats, etc. of important news. All the important news to be covered. Sir, MHCET law result, when will it come? Beta, the results will be out, hopefully this month itself. MHCET is, it totally depends on the MHCET authorities, but let's hope it will be out soon. Where to get questions from, Sir Vicky? The questions are available at the BYJU'S exam prep platform. But as I've shared, in case you're unable to find them, please feel free to reach out at support@byju'sexamprep.com. Right? So in case any one of you is unable to track them, please email, and our team will be more than ready to share you the path to find all such questions. Unimportant news can also be asked, so regular updates on current events are a must. 360-degree news, 360-degree analysis of any event or news is very important. Hence, after reading about, let's say for example, you've read about FIFA and FIFA banning Indian football, so we know that something with respect to football can be asked this year. So when is the football World Cup is all set to be organized? We know that it is this year. India was also set to host under 17 women's FIFA World Cup. So because of this news, this is also important. They could ask you who's all set to host. So all these things are related, and though the question or the main news is that FIFA has banned Indian Football Association, but all these questions which are related to football, these are also important for us, right? Such should be your practice and such should be your preparation, that you are covering as many aspects as possible. So a simple Google search with respect to all the topics that you have done would help you understand that what is the current news regarding the particular point. Revision, guys, is a must in terms of current affairs, in terms of general awareness, in terms of any such topic that you are actually doing. A very easy thing that you can do is study it once. You already prepared your notes. Now once you have invested, let's say 30 minutes on a particular news. The next time you want to revise it, it will hardly take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? The second time it will take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, let's say 10 minutes. Third time you do it, it will hardly take you 2 minutes, 3 minutes to revise, right? So that is what you should be doing. Ideally, anything that you study, revise it thrice, right? Try to revise it thrice. Something that you have studied today in the morning, revise it tonight, revise it tomorrow, revise it 1 week later, and you're good to go. This is something which is to be done. If we talk about further, we talk about current affairs, you can see there are unexpected questions and unexpected topics which are also asked in the exams, right? So uh, be prepared in this regard as well. So that's why the CLAT Ignite magazine is a great help, because it covers everything that can be asked in your exam. Very good, Preeti and Vicky. The name of the ship is absolutely correct. All right, now let's talk about legal reasoning. When we talk about legal reasoning, of course, we have to develop our legal vocabulary. We should understand the basic, uh, legal jargons, right? Say, for example, and legal terminology as well. Say, for example, what do you mean by res ipsa loquitur, right? All these, maxims are also super duper important, like they were before. They can be asked even now, right? So be prepared from all corners. Of course, your basics should be clear with respect to torts, contract, criminal law. Hence, attending all our classes is very important, of course. You need to have strong reasoning ability as well. So all the sections are interlinked in a way that in case you're preparing for one section, you're actually preparing for the entire paper. So keep this in mind and prepare holistically. You must be aware of legal matters, etc. So say, for example, sedition, etc., defamation, whatever is the recent news with respect to this. Recently Johnny Depp was victorious in a defamation suit against Amber Heard, right? So there can be a passage on defamation, and then there will be some questions on defamation, or the instances of the trial can be shared in the passage, and then there can be questions on the same. So these are the things that can be asked. So one should be aware of what are the basic concepts, what are the essentials, what are the defenses, all these things that were taught. You have to revise and use them, right? In case you don't use them, you will not be remembering it, you will not be able to recall it when it matters the most. So my advice to all of you would be that when we are talking about legal, practice as much as possible. Say, for example, today you studied nuisance, so you are practicing 10 questions of nuisance today itself, right? Practice 5 questions, 10 questions, 20 questions, as much as you can. Again, in case you are done with the study material, guys, the previous year papers have truckloads of questions on these topics, so do it from there. Attempt as many previous year papers as possible. This will definitely help you out. Sir, can we crack the CLAT? Can we crack CLAT in 4 months? Totally depends on you, buddy. Is this possible? The answer is yes. Special effort is required, and if you are ready to put in the special effort, nobody can stop you. Right? Whatever things we have shared in this class, make sure you follow it. Word by word, and there is nothing that can stop you from reaching the top 5 national universities. Today I shared in our Telegram group as well that yes, the students were placed in, if you talk about NLU Jodhpur, placements were published in the newspaper here in Rajasthan, and the placements were in the range of 14 lakhs to 80 lakhs. 60 students got placed, 25 got a pre-placement offer. So all these things are really motivational, and I'm sure that in order to reach there, reach these colleges where you get this opportunity of getting these kind of placements, these kind of exposure, and your alumni who is so strong, right? You'll have to do some extra effort, right? A basic simple effort would not do. Now, quant, let's talk about what can we do. Practice questions which are 9th and 10th. Everyone has your 9th, 10th books. If not, you can take help of the website of CBSE or NCRT. All these books are available for free as well. I think they were a year back. I'm sure they are still. In case they are not, even then you can get truckloads of practice questions here at BYJU'S Exam Prep platform, or simply do a Google search and you'll find so many things there as well, right? So very important, this is clear your basics. improve your calculation speed. How can this happen? If you're practicing daily questions. So out of the 50 questions that you're supposed to practice on a daily basis, my advice will be to practice 10 questions on mathematics, right? So this is very important. Golaru, I have answered this question beta thrice. You are asking this question again. I have answered this question to you as well twice. Again, you are asking, sir, where is this material? I could not find it. Beta, I am answering you again. support@byju'sexamprep.com is the email ID. In case you are not able to find it, please shoot an email on this ID, and our team will be more than happy to share the path with you as to where you can find the same, right? Sanjana, mathematics book, beta. Which book for 9th and 10th? We are talking about quant, we are talking about mathematics, of course, beta. Come on. So mathematics we are talking, obviously quant means mathematics here, right? So quant is maths only. So practice maths. Chaliye. Next, now sectional tests and topic tests are very important. So test yourself. After clearing your basics, the concepts, please start giving topic tests and sectional tests, right? Give as many tests as possible, right? This will help you to identify your weak and the strong topics. Which sections are your strong sections where you will not lose any mark, which section is a little weaker, which needs more effort right now. This will make you aware of your strong section and of course where you are lacking. You can prepare accordingly. Now, what is the maximum package through placement a law student can get? There is no such limit, but it totally depends on you. As I've shared, the news article that was published, it was shared that in NLU Jodhpur, it was up to 80 lakh rupees. So it totally depends on you, right? There is no upper limit, right? So you can get way beyond, right? Chaliye. The next secret, guys, very important one is this. Start ASAP. You can see 3 to 4 mocks in the month of August. Start giving mock tests. People do this mistake. They study a lot, but they don't give mocks. This is the single largest mistake that anyone can make, right? Mock tests are pure gold. Mock is gold. Okay? Mock is gold. Nothing is more important than mock tests. Nothing is more important than mock test. Mock test, the more you give, the better it is. Having said that, don't give it every day. You can give it every day, but that is to be done in the month of December when you're done with everything. Nothing else is left. Yes, you can then practice mocks as much as possible. But right now, give 3 to 4 mocks in the month of August. Give mocks with a fresh mind. You are advised to sit and give 2 hour, you can see here 2 hour long real-time CLAT mock test to help yourself. Now, timing of the mock should be 2 to 4 p.m. or 3 to 5 p.m. right? This has to be kept in mind. Timing of the mock, 2 hours you are supposed to give. Try to give it in the afternoon, just like the CLAT exam is. Now, September, what do you need to do in the month of September? 6 to 7 mocks aim to complete in the month of September, right? You have given 3 to 4 mocks here in the month of August. Now in September, double it up. Analyze every mock test. After giving the mock test, where have you gone wrong? What are the incorrect questions? Attempt them again. All the incorrect questions are to be attempted again. Attempt them again, and after analyzing, after every mock, review your performance. Where could you actually have put in some extra effort, more effort? What are the pointers, key important pointers that you now know? Write them down, and whatever the learnings are, make sure that you use it for subsequent mocks. Target score, don't worry too much about your score initially. Focus on rank, right? When you're giving mocks, see how much are your contemporaries scoring and what is the difference between you and them, right? Aim to get in your initial mocks, you should be getting 30 to 50. I'm sure when you will start, you'll get 30 marks, 40 marks, 50 marks. After that, in the month of September, when you're done with so many mocks in the month of September, you will be starting to score above 60, right? That is something which you should be targeting. By the end of September, 60 plus should be your score. When we come to the month of October, obviously our score has to increase now. When we are done with October, our mock scores should be in the region of 70 plus, 80 plus regularly, consistently. In the month of November, when we enter, we should be touching 100 plus in one mock or the other for sure, because whenever there is a difficult mock, maybe your score is 80, 90, but there would be easy mocks as well. In those mocks, you should be scoring 100 plus. So that has to be kept in mind. So try to do increase the number of mocks as you go by, right? Once you are in the month of October, November, you every 3 to 4 days you're supposed to give a mock. When you enter November, of course, every alternate day try to give a mock, or let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Thursday and Sunday, right? Then you are also including another mock in between whenever you have a holiday at your school, anything. So try to do as many mocks as possible when if you enter the months of October and November. As I said that after giving so many mocks, now when you enter in the month of November, you should be targeting a score where at least once you have once, twice, thrice, more than that, you touched 100 mark barrier. Now, in the month of December, of course, you have 17 days in the month of December, so we have to use December judiciously as well. So in the initial 10 days, we will give mock for sure. We'll give lots of mocks, but after the first 10 days of December, the last week of December, we are not to give. We are supposed to not give any mock. We are supposed to just revise and relax, right? Keep our mind as active, as fresh as possible. That should be our aim in the month of December, right? The next secret, of course, is periodic revision. Guys, revision, can't emphasize more on this. Revise as much as possible. Guys, the idea is to, rather than studying, n number of things, you are studying XYZ, so many things, and you're not able to remember anything. That is not something which I'd recommend. Rather than that, things that you already studied, right, try to revise it as often as possible so that you can retain it for a long period of time. If we talk about current affairs, some important topics to focus on right now, I'll give you a list. US-China conflict over Taiwan, China-Taiwan conflict, the presidential election in India that happened, the Sri Lanka crisis, economic crisis, plus obviously the one that I just shared, right? That is also very important. The new Ramsar sites in India, 11 new Ramsar sites, taking the number a total to, you answer this for me. South China Sea issue, all these are super duper important. Now let's quickly answer some questions. What are the kind of questions that are asked in the exam? Now these are the kind of questions which can be asked in CLAT, ALIT and all these exams. Who is Nancy Pelosi? Now this is the first question. The answer is Speaker of the US House of Representatives. Now second question, who is the current president of Taiwan? Now because of the China-Taiwan issue, this is also super duper important. The answer to this question is Tsai Ing-wen, right? Moving on to the third question quickly. The countries which are near the South China Sea are dash. Which are the countries? You can see China, Taiwan, Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore, Cambodia, Thailand and Vietnam. All these countries are near the South China Sea. What is the 9-dash line? So you can see in the map, it is mentioned here. The 9-dash line encompasses approximately 90% of the 3 million square kilometer South China Sea, right? So this, as you can see in the map, it is mentioned. Where is the headquarter of the Permanent Court of Arbitration? Now, the answer to this static question is The Hague, Netherlands. Now, The Hague, Netherlands also hosts the headquarter of ICJ and ICC, International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the presidential elections in India? This happened this year. Article 54 is the answer. Draupadi Murmu is the 15th president of India. Moving on to the 7th question, guys. The President of India has the power of pardon. Under which article? The answer is 72. Again, very easy. 8th question. The first President of India unanimously elected. The answer is Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, right? So this was in the year 1977. Last two questions, guys. Taiwan is dominant in the global production of dash. The answer to this is computer chips. Now, if this was something which you are not aware, you can write this down. 10th question, guys, the last one that we have for you. Jagdeep Dhankar, he recently became the Vice President of India. Was the governor of which state? The answer we all are aware is West Bengal. So these are the kind of questions, guys, which can be asked in the exam. You guys have been awesome listening to all these things, preparation tips and strategy. I think this session benefited you quickly. If this is the case, hit the like button, comment and let us know how did you like the session. Share this video with all your friends and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any such important videos that come your way. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet again real soon. In the meantime, do follow us on our social media handles. This is me, Abhimanyu Rajput, signing off. Thank you so much. Take care. Goodbye. Sayonara. All the very best. Happy studying. Thank you so much.